Our next inductee is Joe Ryan, and accepting on his behalf will be his son, Brendan.
On behalf of my mother, Nancy, and my three brothers, Joe, Marty, and Kevin, we'd like to thank the Rome Sports Hall of Fame in honoring our father tonight. I'd also like to congratulate our fellow inductees. It's been such a great weekend for our family, and so cool learning about Coach Robinati, Coach Niemeyer, and Randy Williams. Awesome accomplishments. All three so very deserving of this honor. Calvin Griggs was a legend in a house full of four athletic boys and a sports-crazed father in the 1980s. My brothers and I used to fight over who could be Calvin Griggs during our pickup football games in the front yard. It was great catching up with him, and he was one of my dad's all-time favorite athletes. JR, my dad, was a huge proponent of Rome Catholic athletes getting into this great organization. His buttons would be bursting going into the Hall of Fame with a fellow winger. As he would have written in his column this week, congratulations to J.R. Purrington, one of Rome's great guys. Rome Sports Hall of Fame. I can't think of three better terms to describe my dad. Let's start with Rome, a community my father loved being a part of more than anything. He was so proud to be a Roman. He was born in Rome Hospital in the late 1940s to a World War II hero father, our grandfather, Joseph Ryan Sr., and a very loving mother, Claire Keese. He was the second oldest of 14 children and the oldest of 9 boys. My parents moved out to Albright Road in Westmoreland a few years after Dad was born because they needed a little bit more space. He always stayed locked into Rome, though. He went to St. Mary's up until 9th grade. And after high school at Westmoreland, in which he was a star on the basketball team, he went to Cobleskill for a brief stint. He volunteered for the U.S. Army and was sent to Vietnam at just the age of 21, a service he and our family are very proud of to this day. After serving his country, he came back to Rome and went to work for Marty Nunn as an ambulance driver, where he fell in love with the boss's daughter, my mom, Nancy. They were married in 1972, and they started their life together right here in a place he loved, Rome, New York. Sports. Our father loved every and all kinds of sports. When he wasn't playing or coaching sports, he was watching sports, talking sports, and of course, writing about sports, which he did in his column for 25 years. Our father's brain was that of a sports encyclopedia. He would often tell us of the great players of the 1960s, both professionally and here in Rome. Dad got sports bug at an early age, playing with his brothers in the giant yard out on Albrecht Road. Football, baseball, and of course basketball were the Ryan family favorites. Every one of my uncles could flat out hoop. Unfortunately for my brothers and I, my dad happened to be the only brother that was under 6 feet tall. My uncles Jim, Jack, and my late Uncle Tom played with Dad in the Rome City Leagues and the Black River Leagues. He would often show us box scores of those games where he would score 20, and sometimes there was even a 30 where he'd drop in there. On the basketball court, my dad never met a shot he didn't like. After his playing days were over, Dad focused coaching the 4 of us. He started the San Jacinto Elementary Basketball School League with my Uncle Dennis and the late John Della Contrada. The 4 of us spent countless nights during Rome winters in the 1980s in the gym at St. Peter's on Floyd Avenue. My dad literally could have written the book on how to coach youth sports. Number one, and most importantly, he made it fun for the kids and made sure we had a good experience as a member of his team. Number two, he was a great teacher of fundamentals and preached how to play the game the right way. I only saw my dad get angry a few times while coaching. And in those times, it wasn't because a kid struck out or made a turnover or missed a shot. It was when a kid was disrespectful to a teammate or a coach or a referee. And make no mistake about it, he wanted to win. He had a very competitive in everything he did. I call it a quiet competitiveness. He knew if you work hard, practice to get better, and play the game the right way, that winning would take care of itself. And it wasn't coincidence that his teams often won. When the 4 of us moved on to our high school playing days, Dad became the man behind the scenes. He was the booster club president for RCH, constantly raising money for Red Wing sports. He and my mom never missed a game, no matter how far away they played. Although we loved and was so devoted to Rome Catholic and RCH sports, Dad loved and rooted for all sports in Rome. He loved watching Coach Evans' RFA basketball teams compete and took us to RFA Stadium every Friday night to watch Coach Hoke and later Coach Davis's great RFA football teams. Dad had a great and close relationship with a lot of the legendary coaches that were mentioned here tonight, and he wrote them frequently in his column. Coaches Kenny, Skibitsky, Fiorini, 80, Didio, and Fleet from RCH, and Evans, Hoke, Myslinski, and Bruce at RFA. And the one coach who we always said was the best athlete he ever saw from Rome is here tonight, Coach Mike Davis. Hall of Fame. I've already talked about how my dad was a Hall of Fame businessman, and we're here today celebrating him being a Hall of Fame sportsman. But more importantly than both of those, my dad was a Hall of Fame family man. He was a wonderful husband to my mom for 47 years, and he was the best father the four of us could have ever asked for. He was loving, positive, present in our lives, and a great role model. The biggest compliment the four of us to this day can receive is when somebody tells us, "You remind me a lot of your father." He was an awesome grandfather, brother, uncle, and brother-in-law. He had such close relationships with so many of my first cousins and their children as well. After my parents became empty nesters, he would make dinner for my mom, make sure she was settled in, and then he would bounce around Rome to find a game or two most weeknights. He could be seen at a gym or a field or a few nights a week just to get some data for his column. My father loved sports, he loved Rome, and most importantly, he loved his family. And I want to especially thank the 30-plus family members that are here tonight to honor Dad with us. It means so much to my mom and to my brothers. Thanks again to the Rome Sports Hall of Fame for this great honor. And as my mother said in the statement in the Sentinel, some people bring a light so great to this world that even after they are gone, the light still remains. Thank you.